Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Cricket Special presented to you by Coke. Historic series England है in Pakistan और आज खेला जाएगा 50-20 लाहौर के कज़ाफ़ी स्टेडियम में. कराची की लेग ओवर हो गई एंड सीरीज 2-2 से बराबर है. So that's that. Changes, of course we'll talk about that. So big news है ये है कि नसीम शाह जो है उनको वायरल इन्फेक्शन है तो वो हॉस्पिटलाइज्ड है. हमारी बहुत दुआएं उनके साथ है. होप ही रिकवर सून. और शादाब आज करेंगे एंट्री. ये सिर्फ हमने थोड़ी सी भी खबरें सुनी है, नॉट कॉन्फर्मेशन. और आमिर जमाल जो है वो आज फाइनली डेब्यू करेंगे. सो विल सी हिम. इज अ पावर हिटर, इज अ मीडियम पेस ऑलराउंडर. T20 में 9 विकेट्स हैं, 165 में स्ट्राइक रेट और 194. एंड क्या हम जॉस बटलर को आज देखेंगे मैदान में? We'll find out. हमारे एक्सपर्ट से हम लोग बात भी करेंगे, मगर उसके साथ साथ आपको ये बताएं कि ब्रिटिश हाई कमीशन टू पाकिस्तान क्रिश्चियन टर्नर ने हमारे सीनियर स्पोर्ट्स जर्नलिस्ट आलिया रशीद से बात की. उन्होंने बोला कि पाकिस्तान ने थोड़ी सी ज्यादती की कि बाबर और रिजवान ने किसी को खेलने नहीं दिया, मगर पाकिस्तान को ये भी शुक्र करना चाहिए कि बिग नेम्स नहीं खेल रहे. इंटरव्यू में क्या बातें हुई है, एक्चुअली लेट्स जस्ट हैव अ लुक अट.
तीनों हजरात, आज हम आपके लिए क्रिकेट का एक स्पेशल प्रोग्राम लेकर आए हैं. आपको पता है कि इंग्लैंड की टीम आई हुई है और धुआंधार T20 क्रिकेट जो है इस वक्त चल रही है. पाकिस्तान और इंग्लैंड की टीमों ने 2-2 मैचेस जीते हैं. आज से लाहौर का लेग भी शुरू हो रहा है. दीवाने सिर्फ लाहौर में नहीं हैं, पूरे पाकिस्तान में हैं जो इंतज़ार कर रहे हैं कि ये मैचेस जो हैं, जो 3 रह गए हैं, अब उसका नतीजा क्या बरामद होता है. चूँकि आज स्पेशल शो है तो हमारे पास एक स्पेशल मेहमान हैं, ब्रिटिश हाई कमिश्नर क्रिश्चियन टर्नर साहब हमारे साथ तशरीफ़ रखते हैं. थैंक यू so much for joining us, Excellency. England cricket team is actually visiting Pakistan after a gap of 17 years. It's a long period. Last year, unfortunately, they didn't turn up. So, how was your experience when they didn't come and you had to face so many issues from Pakistan? Pakistan Cricket Board was actually very upset. So, kindly share the process. How did you tackle the problems, difficulties, and what do you feel now?
Well, Alia, I share your happiness and all the people of Pakistan and England's happiness really to see this tour happening after 17 years. It's been a very long wait. And really fantastic to have the team back here, to have seen the scenes in Karachi for the first games. We've now, of course, had 4. It's 2-2. It's super exciting. To answer your question, I committed actually when I first arrived in Pakistan, which was about 3 years ago, that I wanted to see England return. We worked hard at it. We proved the concept of the tours returning. Of course, the first international team to return were Sri Lanka, who came in December 19.
Yeah.
And then for the England game, we had a tour with the MCC, the oldest club in the sport. That was led by Captain Kumar Sangakkara.
Yeah.
Amazing Sri Lankan cricketer and really ambassador for the sport. And I think it was that tour which gave us confidence that the game would happen. Of course, as you mentioned, we had that blip last year when the tour got cancelled at the last minute by the England and Wales Cricket Board. And at that point, my job is simply, like any diplomat, to get the two sides working together. So I'd like to really pay tributes to the work of the ECB and particularly the PCB, Ramiz Raja and his team.
Because PCB was quite furious at that time, I do remember.
Yeah, they were not happy, and we sat down with them, we listened to their concerns, we made sure they were talking to the ECB, to the players, and it was the work that came out of that cancellation that led really to this week's tour happening. So huge credit and thanks to them for all the hard work.
Yeah. Historically speaking, Pakistan and UK have, we enjoy very good relationships. Do you think this tour actually has significantly impact any relation between the two countries?
Yes, I do, and I like to say UK-Pak dosti, hum ek saath hain. There are deep ties between our two countries, which are just built on the people. Those travelling back and forth every year, the number of British nationals here in Pakistan, the number of British Pakistanis. It's about 1.6 million people. That's about 2% of our population would trace their roots back to Pakistan.
Yes.
So to see the cricket being played is fantastically exciting for all of them. And I talk a lot about perceptions of Pakistan, people who haven't visited, who maybe don't know the country as well as they think they do, who may have negative perceptions. And what the cricket tour does beyond the game and the cricket, and I love cricket like the next fellow, and I watch every match.
That's wonderful.
It changes those perceptions. And the people watching, the people traveling, the fans coming, yes, the teams and their coaches, the media, the correspondents, they all see this different modern Pakistan that I think helps us change and expose the opportunity that I want to advance in other areas of my business, like bringing more companies in, more trade, more investment, more job creation. So that's why I think the tour is really important beyond the sense of a good game of cricket.
Yeah, obviously. So do you think PSL has actually played some vital role for bringing
Yes,
the team?
that's a good point. Look, PSL, although it's been affected by coronavirus, of the current team touring, I think about half of them, maybe about 10 of the players, have played in the PSL.
Yes.
And also a good number of the Pakistan team have played in the England League. So each way, that builds an understanding, and players like Alex Hales, although he dropped a catch or two, but Alex Hales, Moeen Ali, they of course are familiar, they know what it's like to play here. So I think they haven't been fazed by the extraordinary atmosphere in the National Stadium at Karachi, nor by the they'll find at Gaddafi Stadium in Lahore. So I think that helps build the understanding and the confidence of what an amazing place Pakistan is to play cricket.
Yeah, exactly. So you just mentioned Lahore, and Lahore is, roaring and ready to welcome British team. So who is, Ben Stokes? We miss actually Ben Stokes, and it's really unfair that he's not with the team. Please convey our
Well, I think
feelings.
that's quite fair. I mean, you don't want Ben Stokes in the form he's in. We have Joss Butler, though he's been injured.
And we miss Bairstow as well.
Well, Bairstow has been the player of the summer for me, so you should be very happy that he's not playing. But I feel a bit the same about Babar and Rizwan.
Yeah.
After was it the second game where they scored that incredible record stance?
Yeah, they are,
200 runs. Didn't lose a wicket. I think it's not fair. They should give everyone else a chance to bat rather than us just watching them.
But strike rate issue is very complicated in Pakistan. Yeah. Do you want to say something about strike rate?
It's much discussed as to whether they can keep up the strike rate. What I like about both these sides is they both have game changers. And we've seen it. Each of the 4 games so far has been quite different. This last game on Sunday night is one of the most exciting games of cricket I've ever watched. Nail-biting. If you went for a cup of tea in the 18th over, big mistake.
Yeah.
Because we then had this Bada Tamasha, extraordinary swing from one side to the other, and that's why T20 is
So you're
such
calling
a good format.
that our victory Bada Tamasha?
Well, I thought we were down, and then we were up, and then we were down
That's
again.
the beauty of
That's the
unpredictability
beauty
of cricket.
And look, who now would predict? We are 2-all. I find it difficult to say who is going to win. I've said already.
What's your prediction?
I am a happy diplomat. I win whichever side comes on. You've seen I have an England shirt with Pakistan on the front
I've seen
and
you on
England
television.
on the back.
Yeah. So you are a pure diplomatic.
Exactly. I think it will be close. I think now, having seen these players who can change the game, Rauf, Duckett, I think came on, did an extraordinary knock in that latter part of the innings. So, if it's 4-3, 3-4, it's going to be a really exciting week in Lahore.
Of course, it isn't. When you are mentioning Lahore, so I'm sure you have been there and you know our chatpata foods. You like Pakistani food, spicy and.
Khana bahut mazedar hai. Lekin in Lahore the problem is. Lahore hai.
Of course,
every time I go, all they do is make me eat. So I hope we're warning the England boys not to be taken into a false sense of security, eat too much good Lahori food, and then not play good enough cricket.
No. I think they can have good food and
okay.
Still they can play good cricket. I know. Brooke is such a excellent player. He can make a difference. But
well, this is what is nice about these players. Those 10 I referred to who are playing in the PSL, they're experienced, they are very seasoned.
He was
cricketers.
playing with Lahore Qalandar actually.
But we then have some of these young other players coming in who really want to prove themselves. Of course, we have the World Cup coming up. That will be between the T20s and the Test matches we'll have in December. And these players really want to prove themselves to the World Cup. So that's giving a bit of edge. Wood is the bowler the speed.
Mark Wood? My God.
He is bowling at.
165 kph?
Yeah. I mean, who could bat against that? Even Babar, I think, is saying.
They was taken aback actually. They were not ready for that kind of pacey bowling actually.
No. So that is, it's a very exciting pair of teams, and why it's been such good cricket to watch, I think.
Okay. World Cup is, around the corner. But when we discuss or when we observe the white ball cricket team, or English white ball cricket team, we must give credit to Ian Morgan and Strauss for the development of this team. Especially they have changed the mindset. They are playing a fearless cricket. So, do you think England team can win the World Cup easily, or do you have any observation? Any area which is you think you should be improved more?
So, I mean, you're right. It's been a fascinating for people who follow sport to see the turnaround in the England squad this summer. Slight change of leadership, slightly different mentality. A team that was in a poor run of form is suddenly playing very well.
Yes.
Of course, our white ball team is a bit different from our Test match team.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are interested to see how England go into the World Cup series. There are probably 4 or 5 teams that could win it, could end up in the semis and the final.
What are the chances of your team?
I think England has a good chance.
Good chance?
They are certainly one of the top 4 teams to my mind, and some of these exciting young players. But as we saw on Sunday night, the tiniest moment can be, can change these games, and they turn on as we like to say, they turn on a sixpence.
Well, England has a chance, but you can never write off Pakistan. Pakistan still part of the game. और इस इंटरव्यू का बाकी हिस्सा आप देखेंगे एक ब्रेक के बाद. हमारे बाकी एक्सपर्ट्स भी हमारे साथ मौजूद होंगे. We'll talk about today's match. आप देख रहे हैं Cricket Special presented to you by Coke. We'll see you on the other side. वेलकम बैक आफ्टर द ब्रेक. आज पाकिस्तान इंग्लैंड दरमियान 5th T20 मैच लाहौर के इजाफी स्टेडियम में खेला जाएगा. बट ब्रेक से पहले आप देख रहे थे आलिया रशीद का इंटरव्यू फॉर ब्रिटिश हाई कमिश्नर टू पाकिस्तान क्रिश्चियन टर्नर के साथ. तो उसका बाकी हिस्सा भी देख लेते हैं.
Since you are, following cricket very deeply, as you have told us, so what would you, any advice for Pakistan team? Will you give any advice for Pakistan team for the World Cup?
So look, I think for a diplomat to offer Pakistan advice would be really beyond my skill set.
No, but you're sitting as a cricket lover also.
As a cricket lover, I think there is perhaps something about playing spin. So in that first game, which I watched in Karachi, when the spinners came on, it was a change of pace and it was playing spin. I'm not a very good cricketer, but it's a different technique.
Yeah.
So they will need to show that. But like any big sporting competition, it depends on a few key moments in each game. I do think for Pakistan, and one of the reasons I so admire what Ramiz Raja has done at PCB, and I admire Baba and his team, is they're so passionate for their country. When they visited the UK in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic, they were real ambassadors for the sport and ambassadors for Pakistan.
Yeah.
And Pakistan has been through a difficult period recently with the floods. It's been a tough time for the country, as actually it has for the UK in a different way with the death of Her late Majesty the Queen. And I think whatever happens, Pakistan will take real pride and real belief into the World Cup.
Inshallah.
Given that difficult time with the floods. And if I may say, if you look at how the PCB have supported the floods effort, I think record crowds in Karachi. I'm sure it'll be a sellout in Lahore as well. Something like 130,000 people watched the first 4 matches live. And then those gate receipts on the first day, I think it's about 13 million rupees, all donated to the flood appeal. And
it's a great gesture, actually.
It's a really nice gesture. The England team actually did the same. They made a donation to the emergency appeal.
That's what I wanted to mention. That was a great gesture from the England team. Donation for the flood
and the England Cricket Board matched the players. So it's actually helping generate interest in the floods.
Do you think these kind of activities from you, it can change the perception of Pakistan for the world?
Well, I think on the floods, it's about getting urgent assistance to the people who need it most. It will change perceptions, but we must keep working. We have about nearly 50 containers arriving in Karachi port this week of further aid. And that is why I think at this time, as Jos Buttler said, what happens on the field is important, but this is much bigger than cricket, and it's going to give the people of both countries a real lift.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Excellency, for your visit. Thank you so much.
It's a great pleasure talking to you, and I hope everyone and you and all the viewers enjoy the next.
Yeah, sure. By the way, who is going to win the series?
Of course, England.
Oh, okay. Since you are a guest, I have to respect it. You know, it's a norm of our tradition. So I can't say Pakistan is going to win.
I think you should say Pakistan as well. Remember, I am a diplomat, so I'm happy either way.
Okay. इस दुआ के साथ कि जो भी टीम जीते वो अच्छी क्रिकेट खेले, चाहे इंग्लैंड जीते चाहे पाकिस्तान जीते. ऑब्वियसली ये चाहेंगे कि इंग्लैंड जीते, हम चाहेंगे कि पाकिस्तान जीते, लेकिन हमें वो क्रिकेट देखने को मिले जो आखिरी बॉल तक फाइट करे और हमें उठने ना दे. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you, Alia. Yes, we are expecting a nail biter again today, and let's see आज जो डेब्यू करेंगे आमिर जमाल, वो किस तरह खेलते हैं क्रिकेट. क्या जॉस बटलर को आज कज़ाफ़ी स्टेडियम लाहौर में हम देखेंगे? We'll find out later today. But thank you so much for watching. हमारा क्रिकेट स्पेशल था. We'll see you tomorrow. Allah Hafiz.